Hello and welcome to my video from home, and today on A Vogel Talks Menopause I'm going to be talking about 3 menopause symptoms that often get worse in the summer. If you like my tips and advice, then please subscribe and remember to hit the bell icon so you can be notified of all my new videos. Most of us love the summer. We love the heat, we love the sunshine, we love to be able to get outside in the fresh air. Unfortunately, for a lot of menopausal women and perimenopausal women, the summer enjoyment is marred by our symptoms getting worse in some way and making our life just that little bit more miserable. So I thought I'd go over 3 of the more common ones today and the sorts of things that you can do to help yourself. First one is night sweats, and it's just logical in a way. If our temperature is a lot hotter, if it's hotter during the day, if it's hotter at night, then our body is going to find it much more difficult, because of all the hormonal changes going on, to keep its temperature control under control. So what happens is you can get more hot flushes during the day, and you can get more severe and prolonged night sweats. These are caused by a lot of factors that maybe we don't think about when we're in the middle of the summer. We get dehydrated, and we know that dehydration is a big trigger for flushes and sweats, and flushes and sweats will make dehydration worse. So this can be a really big vicious cycle going on all the time. So it's really important to make sure that you're drinking loads of water, extra water if it's really, really hot, and maybe try an extra little shot glass of water just before you go to bed, and that might be enough to keep you a bit more hydrated. And because it's not a lot, hopefully it won't stress your bladder and you won't need to get up during the night to go to the toilet. It can be alcohol. The nights are longer and it's nice to sit out with a glass of wine or having a little aperitif before dinner. But unfortunately, those extra drinks of alcohol, or those new drinks of alcohol, if you like, can very often trigger night sweats. It can also be high salt and sugar foods, and for a lot of us, we may have barbecues in the garden, and I know at the minute it's not so easy with all the lockdowns going on, but things are beginning to happen, and it may be that more and more of you are going to have barbecues outside, and barbecues tend to be very high in salt, they tend to be very, very high in sugar. So again, it can be these little day-to-day things that can really impact our symptoms during the night. So this is one here. Look at your diet, just go over it. Are you having more salty and sugary foods? Are you having that little bit of extra alcohol? Remember the water. As I said before, loads of water during the day. If the night sweats are really getting you down and you've not tried it before, we have a herb called sage, which is specifically for hot flushes and night sweats. And you can find more information on our menopause tablets in the product page. Now, number 2, skin. Our skin can get drier, you can get prickly heat, you can get rashes, it can become much more sensitive. And again, a lot of it is to do with falling estrogen. Our skin gets thinner, and because of that, the sun can have more impact on it. Because our skin is thinner, it can become much more sensitive. So even our normal day-to-day soaps and washes and skin creams can start to cause problems. And if you're outside in the sun and you're putting on a lot of suntan lotion, again, you might have been using this suntan lotion for years, and all of a sudden you find that your skin is starting to get really, really itchy. And heat itself, when we get too hot, especially if we're suffering from anxiety, we can get a big hit of histamine, and histamine will cause that nettle rash, the itchy skin, or we call it prickly heat, just because of the extra heat that's going on. So the things to do here, again, remember the water. You can take a supplement called sea buckthorn oil, and this is a lovely one for helping to keep the skin nicely hydrated and plumped up. You can look at our neem cream. This is a nice one for sensitive skin. If you're getting a lot of itching and rashes, you can try that one. If you're getting a lot of the histamine hit, so if you find that you're suddenly coming up in rashes and lumps and bumps, you can look at nettle, because again, nettle is a nice antihistamine. You can also look at milk thistle complex, which we often use to help with all over situations. Number 3, hay fever. You might find that your hay fever symptoms have started to get worse as you go through the menopause. And it's interesting because a lot of menopause women find that they start to get hay fever for the first time. What's happening here is falling estrogen can affect our immune system, making it that little bit weaker and more sensitive to any allergens that may be around us. So if we're in the middle of the hay fever season with all the extra pollen, if we're also getting a lot of heat, so we're getting extra histamine that's going on. So again, you can end up with the skin rashes, you can end up with the sneezing, the runny eyes, and just feeling very, very uncomfortable. For hay fever and other airborne allergens, you can look at our polinisan. Again, information will be in the description. We also have a nasal spray that can be very helpful for some people. And remember that both vitamin C and nettle are wonderful natural anti-inflammatory. So vitamin C, little and often, rather than one big dose once a day, and a couple of cups of nettle tea can often work wonders. Also remember that stress of any kind at any point can make all these symptoms worse as well. So if you find that stress is a big factor, then you know, look at some of the stress remedies just to help to calm your nervous system down, and that can have a really positive impact on your summer symptoms. So I hope you found this one helpful. If any of you out there have had really good results with remedies or herbs or supplements that you have tried for your summer symptoms, then please share them with us, because we would love to know all about them. And until then, I will see you next time for another Avogel at Home.